हेलो एंड वेलकम गाइस, रेडियो जिंदगी सुन रहे हैं। 1550 AM फ्रीक्वेंसी है जहां आप पहुंच रहे हैं एंड हम बात कर रहे हैं अबाउट शादी। शादी आबादी, शादी बर्बादी, गुड शादी, बैड शादी, इज द पार्टनर राइट से की है शादी एंड लॉट मोर क्वेश्चंस हैव बीन आंसर्ड इन पास्ट 2 वीक्स। आज इस टॉपिक को करेंगे कंटिन्यू। आई होप यू गेस्ड इट राइट विच शो आई एम टॉकिंग ऑन। इट्स द साकेत भाटिया एस्ट्रोलॉजी शो, जहां बात हो रही है अबाउट लाइफ पार्टनर्स, about love marriages, arranged marriages, and what are the factors which help make a marriage successful, या कितना चलेगी, कैसे चलेगी, कहाँ कहाँ फायदा देगी, and lot more. So if you are looking for a partner, astrology has all the answers. Do contact Dr. Saket Bhatia, जो हमारे साथ लाइव होते हैं every Tuesday. और जब भी आप डॉक्टर साकेत भाटिया को सुनते हैं, you actually listen to the facts, not the myths. He is all about facts, he is all about logics. कॉन्टैक्ट कीजिए उन्हें डायरेक्टली बाय कॉलिंग 408-639-5300। 408-639-5300 इज डॉक्टर साकेत भाटिया का डायरेक्ट नंबर, या फिर आप उन्हें लिख सकते हैं info@saketbhatia.com, और यू कैन विजिट हिज वेबसाइट विच इज बाय हिज नेम saketbhatia.com. एंड वी डू टेक क्वेश्चंस. थोड़ी देर में आई ओपन द स्टूडियो लाइन्स एंड आई लेट यू नो कैसे आप कॉल कर सकते हैं. फिलहाल अगर है आपका प्रश्न एस्ट्रोलॉजी या न्यूमरोलॉजी से रिलेटेड, एज डॉक्टर साकेत भाटिया हैज अर्न हिज PhD इन द सब्जेक्ट ऑफ एस्ट्रोलॉजी एंड ही इज अ प्रोफेशनल न्यूमरोलॉजिस्ट एज वेल with 12,000 satisfied clients over the span of 25 years. He's right here. If you have questions, he has answers. So once again, contact कीजिए डॉक्टर साकेत भाटिया को डायरेक्टली 408-639-5300 पे, or write to him info@saketbhatia.com. Hello and welcome.
Hello, how are you?
I'm good. The music is on.
You know, sometimes I wish I could be as fluent, as vocal, and as thorough as you when we start the show.
Okay.
You go on for, a few minutes and all I say is thank you and welcome to listeners of Radio Zindagi.
I think that's my profession. And the topic which we'll get on to is your profession. So
नहीं, आप जो करते हो बहुत अच्छा करते हो. Thank you so much. I've constantly said that this should be a Saket Vedic Astrology Show because I couldn't do this show without you. It's a fact. I did say that during Thanksgiving weekend and I'm saying that again.
Thank you so much.
Now, आपने गलती की है. We've been talking for 4 weeks on marriage.
Not 2 weeks.
No, 4.
4, okay.
Yeah, I thought you would say 10 because जब लोग शादी में हैं उन्हें शादी बहुत लंबी लगती है. Maybe you're in a wonderful relationship, आपको छोटी short लगती है. But for most listeners, it might seem like eternity. So it's actually 4 weeks. This is our 5th week and this will be the last week. That's because हर एक show के बाद we get lots of calls in the office. We get people calling me and saying, we like the way you speak, we like the, हम feedback लेते हैं. And one of the feedback I got was, okay, so you've been going on for 4 weeks about marriage, right? What are you going to talk this week? And then people start sending me emails. We want you to talk about career. I said, वो हो गया. Yogs, वो हो गया. Health, नहीं किया. Right? Travel, नहीं किया. Immigration, नहीं किया. So we're going to start discussing those things one by one. But today we have to end this thing. So I'm going to go over a little bit. हमने क्या discuss किया है अब तक? We started by saying what is marriage, partnership and astrology. Just to refresh your thoughts, marriage is 7th house. Why? Because you are first house. आपके उल्टा जो है, that is the 7th house. नीचे, right? So by looking at the 7th house, we can see your spouse, your partner, how your married life will be. हमने prediction बोली थी when you will get married. We said, what about, remember हमने बोला था planets in the 7th house. If you have sun, it'll be a dominating partner. Moon, emotional partner. Mercury, speaking partner. Venus, beautiful partner. Now, if you have all of these, it's good for you. Then हमने कहा था कि what if the 7th house is Aries or Taurus or Gemini? We discussed those factors. हमने कहा था if Sun, which is the dominant person, is in Scorpio in the 7th house, it could be a emotional partner, dominant partner, but very secretive. Right? So it's a water sign. फिर हमने कहा था which factors in your marriage chart influence early marriage, late marriage, and denial of marriage. We spent almost a whole show on Mangal Dosh. Okay, we don't like using the word Manglik all the time, but Mangal Dosh is इसका significance क्या है, importance क्या है. You said with great power comes great responsibility. I remember that. And हमने कहा था मंगल दोष cancel कैसे होता है, which means less power, less responsibility, hopefully. And 2 weeks ago, we discussed how planets will impact a good marriage. Karak discuss kiya tha. Significator, how much you will enjoy. Jupiter, Karak for woman. Venus, the Karak for man. Then we said yogs in marriage. What makes you lucky? कभी-कभी किसी की किस्मत खुलती है शादी के बाद. Right? And then we stressed on the importance of moon, the 5th house, and partnership. Moon is your mind, 5th house is relationship, and 7th house is partnership. तो ये इनकी importance क्या है? We spoke about Rahu, Venus, love marriage, D9 chart. काफी cover किया है 4 हफ्तों में.
बहुत कुछ, exactly.
But this is again, when we study astrology, this is such a small part. ये क्या होता है when some astrologers will study astrology, right? And then they'll start studying this. And हमने जो discuss किया, you can spend a lifetime on this. And then they make a career out of it. They become शादी के astrologers. पंडित जी आ जाओ, कुंडली match कर लो, right? So they do that.
So there is a specialization.
There has to be a specialization. A general astrologer is like an MD. You go to him, he'll give you a general chart reading, job मिलेगी, career होगा, शादी होगी. But जो specialist होते हैं, they're very different. There are health astrologers. They only focus on disease. They only focus on cure, treatment. They deal with Ayurveda. It's very complicated. Right? I was reading an article this last week on heart attacks. कि heart attack कब होता है, किस दशा में होता है, कौन से planet responsible है.
Wow.
And they say, according to the articles, because I'm not an expert on health. I'm not. I mean, I can predict, but I'm not an expert. With almost 100% accuracy, within plus minus 2 weeks, ki heart attack hoga, you know.
Wow.
So that is how important it is. So we've covered a lot, and today we have to wrap this up. We're going to put an end to this. The 5 weeks of marriage will come to an end today. Hopefully a happy marriage.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. So, you know, when we left last week, we were talking about the placement of moon, and due to that, how it affects all the signs. So I think we covered 4 of them.
No, I covered 4 of them. You were to cover the remaining 8 of them. So
I thought you forgot.
No, जो moon होता है, that is your mind.
जी.
See, in astrology, Vedic astrology में, when we study, if we want better correlation on your chart, we have to study your chart from the ascendant and moon. हम 2 बार पढ़ते हैं. First, we will look at your chart with your Lagnesh, which is ascendant house on top, and we'll say, okay, you have so and so planet placed here. योग बनता है, अच्छा है. Then we'll rotate it to the moon. अगर मून से हमें सेम रीडिंग मिलती है, सेम योग दिखते हैं, we get better confidence that yes, it is going to match. Yes. हिंदी में we also call a third match for the sun called Sudarshan Chakra.
Okay.
Where we overlap sun, moon and ascendant all on top of each other. And then we study. So this is very important because जितना ज़्यादा correlation हो, उतना ज़्यादा पता चलता है.
True.
People ask me what is the best career for me.
So it's like the intersection area, right?
No. You have the chart. You first take the chart from the ascendant, then find out where the moon is and rotate the chart 90 degrees, 120, 180, rotate करके overlap कीजिए. Then take the sun, rotate it, overlap, and then see where the planets are placed.
So exactly, the common area.
Kind of.
Where all 3 are affecting at a common place.
Yes. But then you have to study each house from each of them.
Oh.
And moon is very important in marriage because moon is your mind, moon is adaptability, and moon is your, what is the right word I'm looking for? It's a complicated word, but let's keep it simple. Moon is your expression and your ego also. All of these together will make a happy marriage. Now, I covered Aries, Taurus, Gemini, Cancer. Aries is ram. It's a bull. I mean, a ram, not a bull, but a ram. So ram जो होता है, they love their partner a lot, but they don't give their partner much freedom. They tend to be possessive, dominating. So उनका remedy होता है in astrology. Learn to communicate with your partner. Let them express themselves.
Right.
This is not a dominating partner. He's not a controlling partner. He just doesn't give the freedom to do what they want.
Okay.
Taurus is the bull. The bull is a very loving creature. They care for others. They care for themselves. And they do it all for love. The problem is they're very insecure. So they have to realize that relationship is a two-way street. You will also get something in return. And you don't always have to give. You know, Gemini is twins. Confused personality. I'm not saying everybody here. Now understand, ये जो Gemini हम कह रहे हैं, this is the placement of moon in Gemini. The other assumption would be the ascendant is at 15 degrees, moon is at 15 degrees, moon is not debilitated, and moon is sitting in these charts, in these planets. Gemini में confuse रहते हैं. It leads to an unhealthy relationship. So have a stable mind, focus on what you're doing. Now let's talk about Cancer, crab. Crab
Grandma.
likes to grab everything. Yeah, grandma. They like to grab everything, right?
Yeah.
So when they try to grab, they're trying to grab everything in a relationship. They like to create bonds with everything. So we're trying to tell them, also in case of grabbing, share your expressions and feelings with someone. So these are remedies that, at least for the first 4 that we've covered, there are 12 signs and there are 8 more left. So I can take a breather, and Vedika is going to go through from Leo to Pisces, and then I'll see if she's off, and then we'll try correcting her.
No, I don't have much, but yeah, I did a little bit research. So Leo are mostly like over the top kind of partners, like fired and pretty dramatic too. How correct is it?
Leo's like a lion, right?
Yeah.
They want to be center of attention
Yes,
everywhere.
yes.
So it's a
Statement
partner.
people.
वो party पे जाएंगे, they always want to stand out. There's man or woman, they'll dance in the party, shout
Yes,
loudly. Yes,
exactly.
exactly. So you're right. You're on
And
right
then
track.
they could be overspending as well.
Absolutely.
See, I'm learning.
No, this is the purpose of this show is for people to just take this a very practical approach.
Right.
It is very complicated, but basics to सीखिए थोड़ा, right?
Right.
Understand what this is. So I need you to go on your kundli and look where your moon is placed and see if this characteristic applies to you. So if you're Lion or Leo, we're telling you, give your partner a chance, blend in.
True. And then Virgo.
Yes.
So Virgo, they are very minutely detailed people
Okay.
and very organized. So like sometimes too organized.
We call them nagging and bickering sometimes.
Okay.
होता है relationship
Yeah, I
में.
use positive words.
नहीं, you didn't use the positive word. जब store start हुआ था, शादी हो, आबादी हो, बर्बादी हो. No. We want to make sure this is shadi and abadi.
Yes,
right?
yes. No, but it's perception, right? Perception can be either this or this.
Sure.
Yeah, so Virgo is like focused, minute details and very organized people.
And if you don't do what they say, they start nagging. They're not happy, so they tell you to go in one direction or the other. Yes.
Okay. And then Libra.
No. The suggestion we have for Virgo is understand your your partner's point of view too.
Right.
Be practical. Be behavioral, happier. Don't nag. Don't
Bicker.
overplead. Yeah. Don't bicker.
Ji.
Sure.
Libra.
Sure.
So Libras are romantic
Mhm.
and little pushovers,
Push over
as in like making somebody do something kind of personalities.
Yes, but it's also Libra sign is a scale.
Balance.
Balance.
Balance,
So
yeah.
उनको balance चाहिए. But they strive for a balance and they push on one aspect which they
Yes.
think is not fulfilled, or they push the other aspect which is not fulfilled.
So then they keep doing that.
So उसका fix ये है that express yourself within limits. Everything you want cannot happen that way,
True.
right?
Yeah.
So you're almost there.
They need
We
to
only
learn.
have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 more signs.
Yes. Scorpio
Sure.
are intense and passionate partners. So, but what is wrong with that? What do they have to learn here?
Scorpio is a scorpion who digs its head in the sand.
Yeah, secretive.
They're very secretive. They don't share. So इनका problem क्या है? It's not they're hiding something from their partner. No matter what happens, if it's financial issue, they won't tell the partner.
They're not open
If it's health,
completely.
they won't tell. They just keep everything to themselves. इससे क्या होता है? The partner may feel deceived, betrayed at times, or just thinking कि
Distant.
why is he or she
Yeah.
hiding something from me?
Yeah, and even
So-
distant, because when you don't know anybody's problem, then you can't relate with it.
So इसका तो वही fix है. Try to be open.
Share. Yeah.
Share.
Sharing is caring.
Yep.
Absolutely. Next is Sagittarius.
Mhm.
They are impulsive personalities. So in that maybe they can take wrong decision and little irrational, I would say.
You're almost spot on.
Okay.
But Sagittarius also are people who like to travel a lot. They like to enjoy life.
Yes.
And sometimes your partner might not be interested. I just spoke to somebody before the show started who said, I like to sit at home. And I was telling that person, you need to get out a little.
So but that person likes to get out and stay at home both. Okay. And then Capricorn. They are workaholics, take work too seriously, and sometimes they can be rigid, little headstrong.
Yeah.
So they need to just ease it a little bit.
They need to understand that उनकी pace पे सब कुछ नहीं होता. Life has its own pace.
Right.
जब चीज होनी है तब होगी.
Exactly.
Right? And they're more logical people. They're not very emotional. So they need to get a little more grounded in terms of that.
Right. Aquarius, again adamant, headstrong people, my way, highway kinds.
Yes, but Aquarius also likes to plan too much.
Yeah.
This is one of those signs which is always worried about tomorrow. We have a kid tomorrow, how are we going to manage the finances? We buy the house, both of us have to work. गाड़ी खरीदेंगे, कल इसका expense ये होगा. They need to live in the moment. They need to start enjoying life. They need to be happier about themselves, happier about today.
Okay.
See, इसमें कुछ गलत नहीं है. Because in whatever I'm saying, think, nothing has been wrong so far. So what if they're thinking about the future? So what if they are always pushing their partner to get new heights? हम सिर्फ कह रहे हैं कि you have to adapt with your partner.
And extremity could be troubling for the other one.
Extremities rare होती हैं.
Okay.
It's very rare. For this to happen, every planet would have to be like right on at 15 degrees or नहीं होता. Yeah, at the ascendant.
Right. Pisces?
Last.
Okay. They're dreamy and impractical.
I don't think they're impractical.
And they're very creative too.
No, I'm Pisces, but that doesn't make me impractical. My moon is in Pisces. My moon is at 15 degrees.
Okay.
My ascendant is at 15 degrees.
So you're creative?
Actually, my Jupiter is also at 15. So I have this combination of Jupiter, moon, and the ascendant at 15 degrees. It makes us more of a fairy tale kind of person.
Yeah, dreamy.
Dreamy.
Okay.
We expect the best things in life.
Okay.
But we tend to be happy. कुछ हो जाते हैं, sometimes we get a little irritated, but then it takes us a little bit of time, we cool down. But they're very emotional people. जो Pisces होते हैं, they're very, very emotional.
So what can be done here? Be a little bit less emotional?
I'm trying to help myself. We try to be more realistic.
Okay.
Be less emotional, little more maturity as in दिल पे नहीं लेनी हर चीज.
Right.
That's what's important. So excellent job.
Thank you.
We have another one coming for you next week, and I'm pretty sure the listeners also should call in and speak to you about that. No, this is not easy what you did. It does take time. Whether you found it somewhere, read it somewhere, whatever be the case, I appreciate that you did that.
I looked.
Yeah, and this is what we want. हमारे पास, after the show, we typically get about 1 to 2 dozen phone calls for appointments, and those people come in, and almost everybody says they like the show. And they're getting to understand what astrology is. And that's what I want. I mean, I would love all the listeners to know astrology, call in so we discuss.
Definitely.
And hopefully that happens.
Okay, so this is the time when I give out the number. I let you come and ask your questions. So 510-770-1550. 510-770-1550 is the studio ka number. If you have any question about astrology or numerology, do give us a call. Studio lines are open now. And Dr. Saket Bhatia is live with me on Radio Zindagi. If you have any question, चाहे marriage से related है या और कुछ पूछना चाहते हैं, this is the time for you to call us. बात कर रही हूँ मैं डॉक्टर साकेत भाटिया से. Every Tuesday 4 to 5 p.m. सुनते हैं आप उन्हें live. Dr. Saket Bhatia has earned his PhD in the subject of astrology, and he is also a professional numerologist. He has 2 companies और काफ़ी सक्सेसफुल बिजनेसमैन है और उसके साथ में एस्ट्रोलॉजी में ही इज़ एन एक्सपर्ट एज वेल. 4086395300 उनका डायरेक्ट नंबर है. आप उनसे अपॉइंटमेंट ले सकते हैं, कॉल कर सकते हैं डायरेक्टली उनको, और या फिर info@saketbhatia.com पे लिख सकते हैं if you have any question. And website, as I always mention, is the best source for all the information, saketbhatia.com. Very easy to remember, first and last name, saketbhatia.com. Ji.
So I guess the next thing for me would be, what would I look for in a chart?
Exactly. When somebody comes to a professional astrologer, कि कुंडली मिलानी है,
Right.
so आप क्या देखते हैं?
So 2 types of people come. First, they come themselves, or sometimes parents come.
Okay.
जब parents आते हैं, the first thing I say is your child genuinely ready for this marriage? I mean, आप तो कराने चाहते हो, but are they ready? Because देखिए, times change, people change. You have to ask your child, what is more important to you? Are you more career driven? Are you more, work driven? Are you more travel driven? कुछ तो होता है ना. Not everybody wants to jump into a relationship. Some people want to wait.
Right.
And I believe there is no right or wrong time for this. Absolutely none. Because jab jo hoga, hoga. Right? So the first thing I do when I look at each chart separately. I want to make sure I understand the maturity level of each chart. कि आप शादी के लिए तैयार हो? What about your mental level? What about your spiritual level? What about your earning potential? What about your compatibility level? Sun, moon, fourth house, ये सब देखते हैं हम. Then what we do is, you've heard of the saying, opposites attract.
Yes.
That means first house and seventh house में कुछ correlation अगर दोनों charts में दिखे ना, it's considered very good.
Okay.
If the lord of the first house sits in the seventh house of either of the chart, we consider it good. Okay. If the lord of the first house sits in the sixth, eighth or 12th of the other chart, there is chance of potential problems. I'm not saying there will be, there is chance. If your seventh lord sits in the sixth, eighth or 12th position from it, which means if it is in the second house, sixth house या 12वें घर में, then you will be responsible for the issues that show up in your marriage. Obviously, this is a secondary case if the planet is in its own house. Then हम क्या करते हैं, मून की पोजीशन देखते हैं. We see कि आपका मून और जो पार्टनर का मून है वो कितने घर दूर है एक दूसरे से. If it is 6, 8, 12, there is problem. Then what we do is we look at the conjunctions. Are there any Jupiter, Venus aspects or conjunctions? We have to repeat the same exercise in the D9 chart. Time लगता है. And then we come up with an analysis and say, this is the overall personality, this is the compatibility, and finally we overlap the two charts.
Okay.
Overlapping the two chart gives us a visual representation of how successful this marriage will be. Sometimes we can see they can't have kids because of one partner. Sometimes we see that they will influence the other in ways you can't imagine. Career में boost दे देंगे, finances में boost दे देंगे. Sometimes we see that they will start a business together, you know, and all that. Then we discuss these factors. That ऐसा हो सकता है.
What is the priority?
Yeah, it's very simple. If your Jupiter is sitting on somebody's house, it will expand that house. Na? If your Saturn is sitting on the career, you're going to stress that career.
Okay.
So we have to understand this is what we study, and it's very important to get this done right.
So, as you are saying कि ये सब चीजें enhance होती हैं. So, are there some situations जहाँ पे कि negatively affect भी हो रही हैं? Like, do you see that, study that?
So let's say you have chart A and chart B. हमने दोनों overlap की है. Chart B का केतु is sitting on the other house in the second house, which is house of money. Immediately we can say they're going to have a detrimental effect on the monetary situation after marriage.
Okay.
It will hamper. Now I'm not saying पैसे खर्चे होंगे. Maybe your partner is overly stingy. They'll make sure you don't spend a lot. You won't enjoy life. It will also hurt your values. Right? So we have to get that very clear. Recently somebody came to me, they wanted to match a chart. I looked at the boy's chart, I said, I see too many affairs. Not one, I see innumerable affairs in this person's chart.
Wow.
In fact, I'm almost certain this person was married, but they're not telling.
Oh.
So these are issues we have to, you know, figure out in life and take it very seriously because pata chal jata hai. So overlap the charts, study the placement of the moon, and make sure that the seventh lord is very strong and very strongly placed in the charts. This will give a good relationship, a good, steady, long-lasting marriage. In your words, abadi.
Ji. So we have a caller.
Sure.
Hello, you're on air with Dr. Saket Bhatia.
Hi, my name is Rakhi.
I missed your name. What's your name?
Rakhi.
Rakhi.
Hi, Raki. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I am doing very well. Thank you for asking. How can I help you?
So I have a question about my marriage.
Okay.
So my date of birth is 27th August, 1980,
1980.
at 2 a.m. Yeah.
2 a.m. Okay.
Jamshedpur, Jharkhand.
And what is your question?
About my marriage, it's not going great.
You're already married?
Yes, I am.
Dekhiye, this is a very sensitive topic, na? So when you're on air and you're saying
Yeah.
marriage is not going great, I'm not sure if there's something I want to discuss with you on this. How would you like me to approach? Would you like me to give you facts on radio in front of people, or do you want to take this personally? You decide.
if it's really bad, if you see something bad, I think you should not say on the air. Then what should I say?
Okay, so Rakhi born August 27, 1980 at 2 o'clock in the morning
Yeah.
in Jamshedpur, right? देखिए आपकी जो chart है,
Yeah.
we'll spend a minute because this is, I'm getting too many of these cases now. People are not happy in a relationship. Your ruling planet is Mercury, okay, and Mercury is also your ascendant lord, which is the first house, the fourth house. आपके fourth house में Saturn बैठा है. Saturn stress deta hai. He's not going to destroy a marriage, but he gives stress. If I look at your Venus, he's very well placed. He's aspecting Jupiter. Jupiter himself is aspecting the marriage house. The problem marriage mein nahi hai. Problem is the happiness. It's not partner based, it is happiness. You have what we call Pap Katri Yog. Sun, Mars, they're sitting and they're blocking Saturn. Shadi ke ghar mein Ketu bhi baitha hai. When you said it's not great, you have Kendram Yoga. Kendram Yoga mein moon is sitting by itself. That gives a lot of stress. I don't know. I don't want to discuss too much on radio. This is personal.
Okay.
People might know you, but all I'm trying to say is, with the aspect of Venus and Jupiter, it is possible to have a good marriage. It really is. Just call us. आपका Mercury बहुत weak है. The Karak Jupiter is strong. He's sitting 9 houses away, which is a good sign. Third house में बैठा है. I know Sun के साथ बैठा है, but you can fix this. We can do something.
Okay.
Just call my office.
Okay, sure.
Sorry about that,
Thank
but
you so much.
we'll do it offline.
थैंक यू सो मच राखी एंड आप कॉल कर सकते हैं. नंबर है 4086395300. Once again, listeners, you're listening to the Saket Bhatia Astrology Show, and the number to directly contact Dr. Saket Bhatia is 408-639-5300. But if you have any quick question, you can give us a call. 510-770-1550 is the number. So as you said that there are so many calls or so many concerned people approaching you regarding issues in their marriage. So how do these issues arise? When do these problems start erupting in a relationship?
So my experience, I'm going through this weekly. Every week I would say about 6 to 7 couples are coming with marital problems every week. And I'm noticing that on almost all cases it's a one-sided effect. So one partner is either too dominating or the other partner is too unrealistic. Now it's very hard to convince both people sitting there that you're too dominating or you're too unrealistic. वो होता नहीं इतनी easily. The best thing I do is I'm an astrologer. I'm not a therapist, but I can help. I really can. I like when you come into the office, we show you your chart and we show you where you are wrong. And we make sure you understand before you leave that you can fix this. मैंने बार-बार कहा है, astrology does not deny. It gives you suffering, it gives you pain, but it gives you at the end of the day, right? You have to be born thousands of times before you get moksha. That's what we say in Hinduism, right? Same way, you have to suffer through something if you want it fixed. Sometimes कुंडली ऐसी ही होती है, हम क्या करें? So it's a one-sided thing, and sometimes both the sides are just not willing to accept and adapt. But most of the times I've realized the issues are money-based, unfortunately.
Okay, like expectations,
नहीं,
monetary.
जब losses हो जाते हैं ना, you start a business, you lose money in the stock market.
Oh,
that is when
creates a pressure.
That's when the
you
pressure
blame
starts.
each other.
They blame each other. That is the number one effect I'm seeing. Our business didn't work out, or one of the partners has 2 kids and can't stop working. It's unfortunate, but मैं कहता हूँ कि when things are going good, you were together, then try fixing it. Everything can be fixed, I believe.
Sure. We're getting a call. Let's take the caller. Hello, you're on air with Dr. Saket Bhatia.
Yeah, hi. This is Amjad again. I called last week.
Hi.
If you remember me. Hello, Dr. Bhatia. How are you?
Good.
So my question is not related to marriage, but in the beginning of the show, you mentioned that any other questions you may have, and you mentioned one thing about heart attacks.
Yeah.
And you said there's a health astrologer who can tell you when the heart attack will happen next week or next year or whatever, right?
Yeah.
So I would like to ask you, can I ask you questions regarding health then?
Sure.
Okay, so my birth date. So the reason I'm asking is I've had 3 episodes of artery blockages. Okay, when I was 43, then when I was 53, then when I was 63.
Okay.
And now, even though I've been, very cautious with my health and diet, so there's something in the genes or whatever. So I want to just ask you if there is something you see in the horizon or not. So I'll give you a birth date and whatever else you want, right?
Give me your birth date.
Okay, it's April 20,
Yes.
1960.
Okay.
Time of birth?
That I don't know. That I don't know.
So I think what you do is then
But
you...
something in the morning, somewhere in the morning, yeah.
It would be very hard. Something in the morning would be very hard. Like I
So
said...
my mother used to tell me that it was like somewhere between 1:30 and 3:30 a.m. on Wednesday.
Chalo, let's do 2:30 in the morning. And what is your
Okay.
place of birth?
It's Chittagong, Bangladesh.
Bangladesh.
Chittagong.
Okay. Is there a particular state there?
Chittagong is a city, like Dhaka is the capital. Chittagong is another big city in Bangladesh. If you look at the map,
No, which state
that's
is it
the
in?
I don't think they have states there. It's just one big thing there.
Okay, I found it.
Yeah, it was East Pakistan at that time when I was born. So it was in Bangladesh,
Okay, so mil gaya.
Acha, theek hai.
So I can almost with confidence tell you that 2:30 is more than likely not your time of birth.
Acha.
I doubt it. I mean, I do see...
Okay.
Okay, moon represents the flow of blood. Mars is the planet that will give you some stress. And Saturn is not exactly aspecting that house. Aapki kundali mein, if I look, planet like moon does not become evil if it is lord of 6, 8, 12, but it carries negative heart problems with it. 2:30 nahi hai. We'll have to analyze this again at 2 o'clock, 1 o'clock, 3, 3:30. Us pe time chala jata hai.
Acha. Acha.
But
Well, in the olden days, they didn't keep track of time, I guess. My mom did not. So I
no,
don't
it's okay. There are ways we can ask you
Yeah.
questions when episodes happened, when you migrated, if you're married, how many kids you have, and we can come up with a...
Yeah, I'm married with 2 kids, yeah. Mhm.
We can
Yeah.
figure out, but it won't happen now, unfortunately. Okay?
Okay, theek hai. All right. Okay, thank you.
Bye.
Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for calling. If you would like to know more about it, आप detailed discussion कर सकते हैं डॉक्टर भाटिया के साथ. Do call him directly 408-639-5300 पे. And listeners, we have around 17 more minutes in the show. If you also have any question, 510-770-1550 is the studio line number. You can give us a call right now as well. Or you can call Dr. Bhatia after the show 408-639-5300. The Saket Bhatia Astrology Show सुन रहे हैं आप. info@saketbhatia.com is where you can write to him, and his website is saketbhatia.com. We are live on Facebook as well. If you have any comment, if you have any question, do post it. And last week, Dr. Saket Bhatia asked कि अगर आपके पास कोई topic है you would like to be discussed on the show, or if you have any feedback, do write to him. info@saketbhatia.com पे. So after that, I have a question. जब तक कॉल आए, लेट मी यूटिलाइज द टाइम. सो जैसे इश्यूज जो हो रहे हैं मैरिजेस में, एस्ट्रोलॉजी में तो बहुत सारे रेमेडीज हैं. सो व्हाट आर द रेमेडी फॉर फिक्सिंग द रिलेशनशिप इश्यूज?
So first we have to understand astrology mein what is the house or the planet that is causing a problem. Is it a weak planet or is it a weak house? There are two things, na?
वीक हाउस भी होता है.
Of course. घर भी weak हो सकता है. 7th house is marriage. The 7th house का जो lord है, he could be very strong. But all the other bad planets looking at the 7th house will hurt that house, right?
ओह, तो वो हाउस की भी एनर्जी लोअर डाउन करते हैं.
House, lord,
लॉर्ड,
Karak,
Planet
all three
sitting.
have to be studied. The
हाँ,
the planet sitting in also we have to study. If
Yeah.
that planet sitting in is debilitated, it will automatically tend to destroy that house.
ओके.
So you have to study magnitude of things in parallel. It is not one factor. So don't look and say, हमारा planet debilitated है, ये हो जाएगा. Sometimes planets get a boost. So let's see how to do it. And this is practical solutions we're looking at. If your Venus is weak, Venus is charm, beauty, intelligence. It's a planet which fulfillment, satisfaction, the ability of right from wrong. जब शादी होती है, why do we wear a diamond? Because it's supposed to give satisfaction. In the old days, yes,
it?
Diamond is the planet for Venus. Always has been. Wearing that tends to make you happy. So that is one remedy we say. In gemstone remedies, wear a diamond if you want satisfaction. Another remedy could be Venus means be kind to family members, be kind to everybody else. That's another remedy. On the other flip side, let's say you have Saturn, which is stability. If you're not having a stable marriage, you want more stability, try making your Saturn stronger. Work harder, dedicate yourself more, tend to feed more hungry people,
Okay.
help the society. On the other side, gemstone remedy always astrology says is a blue emerald or blue sapphire. If you are a fickle-minded person, you're not able to speak properly, you don't have the courage, go make your Mercury better. In that
Okay.
case, we say tend to feed orphans. All good stuff, right? Feed orphans. A green emerald is a good remedy for that.
Okay.
And finally, Jupiter, the wise planet. If your Jupiter is weak, unfortunately, lots of things in your life will start falling apart. Make your Jupiter strong. A strong Jupiter will make you wiser. It will make you more authoritative. Yellow sapphire is good, but at the same time, going and respecting, priests and stuff like that is good for you.
Okay.
And the last thing I would say is the planet which you want to work on, if you want to work on, which could also be Sun or Ruby for your self-confidence. So there are a bunch of remedies, but you cannot just say, okay, I am not able to speak, I'll go buy emerald. हमारे astrology में जो Vedas हैं, उनमें first paragraph, line number 6 is mentioned about gemstones, and then they talk pages and pages about the power of this. Mantras के बारे में बोलते हैं, यंत्र के बारे में बोलते हैं.
Okay.
They talk about prayers, pujas, because they tend to work, they tend to have an effect. So let's say, hypothetically speaking, let's assume your moon is very weak. Suppose moon weak hai, your mind is a little wandering. But you happen to be a Gemini or a Virgo ascendant. For
Okay.
Mercury, the only enemy is moon, so you cannot wear anything to boost your moon. You cannot do it. In that case, we look at different planets that aspect the moon that can give your moon a boost,
Okay.
which are also friendly with this particular planet. So remedies जब आप पूछ रहे हो, remedies में तो होता है first change yourself, change your lifestyle. But in astrology, I always tell people, अगर आप हमारे पास नहीं आते, it's okay, your life will go the way it is supposed to go. Nothing will go worse, nothing will go better. If you're going to take an elevator and go to the 5th floor, you will. An astrologer can take you to the 10th floor. He can do that for you. He can give you that boost in life because you can seize those opportunities. So we've had those complex situations where we can boost some planets and do stuff. Shadi nahi hoti. We do some stuff, and guess what? Not only you have a kid, married, you have a kid, you have a happy family, and then we say, okay, stop. You need to come back because jo milna tha wo mil gaya aapko. Those boosts are possible. So people who call and say marriage is not going good, we can do something. I'm not saying we 100% can, but we can try. There's always something out there which can be fixed. जैसे डॉक्टर सर्जरी करके बोलते हैं, we can try.
Yeah.
We can try, and we're pretty good at it.
And plus, if it's a planet placement and if the person knows about it, जैसे आपने अभी सारे जो साइंस का बताया, what you can mend in
Yeah.
yourself, maybe हमारी personality में अगर हम कुछ change लाएंगे, so it'll reflect on the relationship as well.
Yeah, I was talking to Ashwin, who happens to be the astrologer of Amitabh Bachchan. I mentioned that a few weeks ago on the show.
Yeah.
So he was telling me that he was on the set with him of a movie, and one of the requirements is he shouldn't wear his blue sapphire and stones, right? तो कह रहे थे कि how जब cut होता है, he immediately runs into his vanity van
And he wears
and
it.
he wears it.
Oh.
He wears it and then he sits for whatever time before the next shot, because it's like a part of your body that's being removed.
Yes.
See, I'm fairly educated, I have advanced degrees, and I have realized to accept things in life and never criticize what I don't know, right? If you don't know, study about it. Sometimes things work for a reason. I see lots of Hollywood celebrities wearing green emeralds because emerald is the planet of success in media, in to bring you in limelight, and it seems to work. Why? It always does work.
There are logics.
Why do you see sadhus always wearing saffron? It's the color of Jupiter, wisdom. Why? Have you ever seen a sadhu wear some green color clothes or something walking around? No. Why? They wear white. It's controlling their moon. They wear yellow. ऐसा होता है. अभी हम मंदिर जाते हैं थर्सडे, वी सी जुपिटर, जो नव ग्रह होते हैं आउटसाइड जुपिटर, यू सी बिग पाइल ऑफ bananas and chana dal and stuff.
Yellow.
Yeah, because people believe it. And I was talking, I like to ask people, when have you been doing? And consensus shows for every person I ask, almost everybody believes that it is working. That's why they do it.
Yeah.
Nahi hota to nahi karte.
Definitely.
This thing works. So believe that you know how it works. It's magical. But again, life itself is magical. How we are here, how we are running our life, and what is controlling us. तो आपकी chart देख के how can we tell? You're going to work in a radio station, you're an engineer, you're not having a good marriage. How can we tell all these things? You're born here for a reason. Your purpose is defined. You have to learn to live it, accept it and move on. सबका time आता है life में. अभी हाल ही में, last week I looked at a chart of a young boy, full family had come and I think they're listening on radio. And this boy's 9th house is so good. It is so spectacular. Father said he wants to start a business for the son. And the first thing I said is, whenever he wants to start, you let me know because I know this guy is bankable.
So you're going to invest in his business?
I would love to. At this point, he's not investable. He's definitely not. But when that dasha comes and time comes, आप 9th house देखिए. 9th house is luck. इतना strong luck है इस बच्चे का. It's really good. I know they're listening. It's very, very strong. He'll do well.
So then it'll be easier for you to invest in shares or in some businesses.
I have done well. I have done incredibly well.
So do you do calculation before doing that?
I just look at the planetary positions. But in my chart, most of my stuff is pointing to giving knowledge to people, not so much of accumulating wealth. Companies हमने 2 start की हैं that are doing very well, not because we had nothing better to do. We looked at our charts, we said this is the right thing to do. Sun is sitting in the first house, independent, do it. Delay है थोड़ा, हो जाएगा. We don't sit and cry, ये नहीं हो रहा. And business is doing incredibly well for us, even in this little hardship time. But passion is still astrology. Still want to teach, still want to give that knowledge.
Absolutely. And with this show, you're bringing the knowledge to all the listeners of Radio Zindagi. Listeners, the Saket Bhatia Astrology Show is what you're tuned in at. And 15:50 AM पर सुन रहे हैं आप डॉक्टर साकेत भाटिया को लाइव. बात कर रहे हैं हम about analysis of marriage in Vedic Astrology. Today is the last episode of this topic. And if you have any questions, we have around 8 more minutes in the show. 510-770-1550 पे कॉल कर सकते हैं और या फिर आप शो के बाद डॉक्टर साकेत भाटिया से डायरेक्टली कांटेक्ट कर सकते हैं. इफ यू हैव एनी क्वेश्चन रिगार्डिंग एस्ट्रोलॉजी और न्यूमरोलॉजी, 4086395300 is Dr. Bhatia's direct number. Yeah, so we were getting a call. In fact, that happened a couple of times. I think somebody is shy. On air नहीं पूछना चाहते तो आप डेफिनेटली डॉक्टर भाटिया को कॉल कीजिए 4086395300 पे और राइट टू हिम info@saketbhatia.com. So I just have one more question that आपने योग के बारे में बात किया था in astrology. So can you explain कुछ योग अगर ऐसे होते हैं which can make a married life happy or effect उनका अच्छा रहे married life पे? Are there any yogs?
योग is planetary placement. जब planet appropriate घर में बैठता है, योग बन जाता है. जब planet दूसरे planet के साथ बैठता है, योग बन सकता है. So what is yoga is just a combination, right? So शादी के लिए most important is what? 7th house, partnership. 4th house, where you get happiness. 2nd house, wealth and values. पैसे आने चाहिए थोड़े से, values होनी चाहिए. If all of these have good planets, good planetary placements, good aspects on them, automatically this is considered a good yoga for marriage. 2nd, 4th and 7th, because they will boost everything else in your chart. Right? If 7th is good, love रहेगा. 4th है, घर पे खुशी रहेगी. 2nd है, values, appreciation for each other रहेगा. If your 2nd house is afflicted, you're not ready for marriage. You're not ready to accept. जब तक वो planet mature नहीं हो या उसकी दशा नहीं आती, you won't be ready. That's why people go into marriage and complain. These are same people उनको अपने कभी 2nd house में gift दे दिया, they'll complain कि I don't want it, I don't need it, I don't deserve it. But this also should be studied from the D9 chart. Think of your D9 chart as an independent chart by itself. हम वो पढ़ के we can, it cannot contradict your main chart, but it can at least increase or decrease the weightage the chart has. So this is very important.
So when you talk about the D9 chart, like how I picturize it, it's like this next layer like और refined study जो होती है हमारे बारे में, that is the D9 chart.
No, वो तो D9 है. That way we have D2, D4, D7, D40. हर एक chart, every aspect has a chart. So if I want to understand your relationship better, D9. If I want to understand your kids, D7. Your career, D10. Your money, D2. Then we understand ki what is the hindrance, problem kya hai. A promising chart is not giving good results. Maybe the planet is placed wrong there.
Right.
Let's do something to give it a boost. Let's move it around.
So if somebody comes to you like for the astrological chart reading, so do you study all these aspects, like all these D7, D9, or as per their questions?
No, we don't study all. It is fundamentally impossible. If I did that, it would take me days to study one person's chart.
Oh.
We start with the first chart, the D1. We understand the chart. It takes us, 5 to 10, 20 minutes. Then we start analyzing the D9 chart, because that is like your spirituality chart. It gives us your luck. And then we go into different aspects. If you're having kids issues, we'll go into the appropriate chart for kids. If it's career, we'll go into that chart. But we have to study that. Then you have to study dashas. Then we study transits. People mistakenly say transits are important. They only account for 33%. They don't account for more than that. Don't give overemphasis to transit. ऐसा नहीं है कि जुपिटर आपके घर पे आ गया तो आपका करियर बढ़ जाएगा. No. देखिए जुपिटर अच्छा प्लैनेट है कि नहीं अच्छा है, and what else he can do in your chart.
Right.
You have to always move counterclockwise in the astrology chart, and then give importance to the houses in the order in which the clock moves. तभी उसकी दशा आती है तो वो प्लैनेट वो घर को importance देता है. Jupiter, which is such a good planet, can essentially give you issues with your liver. It could cause failure of liver in life.
Oh.
Kidney fail कर सकता है Jupiter.
Oh my
So
God.
जब दशा आती है, that can happen if he's lord of the 6th house, which is a bad house. That way.
So जैसे जुपिटर की बात कर रहे हैं, obviously people general notion है that it's good, हमारी कुंडली में अच्छा होना चाहिए जुपिटर. So उसी तरीके से अगर योग की बात हम करते हैं in a negative sense, कि कुछ ऐसे भी योग होते हैं which ends up in a miserable relationship.
Miserable relationship होती है, stressful relationship होता है. That typically happens when your 8th house is bad. 8th house in-laws का घर होता है.
Okay.
So if your 8th house is bad, why? Because it is second house from your spouse's house, which is again wealth and values. Then it's going to bring some negative energy back into your partner. Also, अगर 12th house में गलत planet बैठ गया, then it is the house of losing your partner, losing things. If your Venus or the Lord is, if your 7th house Lord is sitting in your 2nd house, your 6th house, your 12th house, 8th house, problem. If the Karak itself is sitting in a wrong house, that's a problem. This can cause a miserable life for you. You won't be able to get out of it. You'll be stuck with the expectation something good is going to happen, लेकिन होती नहीं. आपकी mind को ही stress मिलता है. And then last would be a combination for divorce.
Oh, yeah.
Combination for divorce, I took notes. Combination of divorce होता है जब राहु केतु का aspect होता है, separative planets होता है, which is राहु केतु sun, lord of the 12th. When these planets aspect your house, its lord and the karak from both the ascendant and the sun, loss of your partner will happen. I must say one thing, in astrology people mistakenly say my 7th lord, शादी का घर 9th में चला गया, बहुत अच्छा है. 7th lord 5th में चला गया. In fact 7th 5th में जाता है तो you typically have either husband, wife or child. You don't get both. Majority because now आपने emphasis अपनी शादी को बच्चे में डाल दिया है. You're not going to focus on your partner. You're taking your marriage and you're putting it here. Also, अगर 7th house अपने ही नक्षत्र में बैठ जाता है, शादी नहीं होती या बहुत short time के लिए रहती है. So this is confusing. We're not telling you need to understand this. We need to understand this. We need to explain this to you. We need to fix it for you. हम आपके planet का नक्षत्र नहीं change कर सकते. But we can boost your planet in a way in which it can get the energy so you're happier in your life or you make the right decision. Venus means satisfaction, fulfillment, knowing right from wrong. If you're in a wrong relationship and your Venus is weak, you will not know you're in a wrong relationship. Mars, you need to make strong so you can get out of the wrong relationship or fix the relationship. So with that, I want to close. have taken 5 weeks on marriage. It seemed like an eternity to me. It seemed like 2 weeks to you, which is nice. But hopefully we'll talk about a different topic next week. Right? But it's closing. Merry Christmas to all the listeners. We will retune again next Tuesday. And then, till then, enjoy.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for being on air with us. And thank you so much to all the listeners who tuned in and called and asked questions. And if you have any more questions, info@saketbhatia.com is where you can write. saketbhatia.com, Dr. Saket Bhatia की वेबसाइट है. 4086395300 है उनका डायरेक्ट नंबर. टिल देन अगले ट्यूसडे तक, दिस इज आरजे वेदिका साइनिंग ऑफ. आप कहीं मत जाइए, बिकॉज आरजे स्वाति इज कमिंग अप नेक्स्ट विद लॉट ऑफ एंटरटेनमेंट.
You are listening to Radio Zindagi, KZDG 1550 AM, San Francisco.